the Download Youth Ministry web show / podcast.
Hey-o, here we are.
Doug Fields, Josh Griffin, and the Queen, Katie Edwards. We are missing our senior pastor. We've waited for 22 minutes, and we're not waiting anymore.
Can't wait any longer.
But for those of you that have the... you're watching on video, we did want to say to you, we're sorry, because we made promises that our next shows we're going to have the high quality sound. And as you can see, we have the equipment here.
So we have high-quality sound.
We have, what is this?
That is a Xenix X1204 USB.
There's a lot of buttons on there. And then we've got four of these.
I brought one just to demo today.
Legendary. It's a legendary vocal microphone. So you can tell that
nothing but the best.
We're moving in the right direction. And we're moving in the right direction thanks to our sponsors.
Yes,
Orange.
Orange. Cha-ching.
Yeah,
thank you.
And Orange, we just came back from a 2-day conference that Orange was here. You need to check out theorangeconference.com. It was here in Southern California.
The Orange tour just swept through town. It was so much fun.
About 1,000 children's workers and youth workers. It was very, very fun. And they're doing like 14 of them this fall. And DYM is partnering with them. And
Doug spoke on the main stage. Katie did a dinner panel. And I did a ultra late night workshop / small group. It was a nice little discussion time. So in order of importance, Doug, Katie, it was really fun.
What do you consider to be late night?
The workshop started at 8 p.m.
Wow.
That's pretty late. Yeah.
Awesome.
Nothing says good youth ministry training like, man, we've been here for 10 hours.
Yeah,
our heads are full.
We've already had 7 hours of content.
Yeah.
Let's see what Funny Boy has to say.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't win in that environment, but it was still really fun.
Yeah, it's great. So anyway, we're grateful for Orange, XP3.
Thank you. Love the
middle
new gear.
school and high school curriculum.
Right.
Check them out. Also grateful to our sponsors, Azusa Pacific University and YM360.
Absolutely. YM360 with their events division, summer camp 2016, 2017.
9 dates, 6 locations.
It's impressive.
Go to generatestudents.com or YM360.com.
YM360 just changed the summer game. There you go. There's a sound bite. Right?
Whoa!
I don't even know if it's true, but I just said it. There it is.
And part of their advertising is gospel-centered camp. So if you want to take your kids to a camp that wasn't centered on the gospel,
Isn't
do
about
not.
Jesus or the gospel.
Just fun and quote God. No, not here.
No.
This is fun and Jesus.
Yeah. And also, we are sponsored by LeaderTrex, who are partners with Download Youth Ministry, provide our members stuff every single month. Great student leadership. They have 2 student devotionals out called I Am Servant, I Am Disciple.
Yes.
And we like to hold up their books because we've been asked to do that.
This is a well-worn copy from one of our junior high pastor who has, she's just...
You can tell. I don't see a single word written in it, but...
They're just starting. It's well-worn.
I think it's well-worn because this was in my garage.
No!
Yeah, Student Leaders Start Here by Doug Franklin. It's excellent. It's part of our student leadership
ministry uses a lot of LeaderTrex student leader stuff and mission stuff.
Their mission stuff. Unbelievable.
And their Refuel Retreat.
Yeah, coming up.
All right.
Someday I'm going to go to that.
Don't make promises you can't keep. Here we go. This is from Chase Williams.
All right, Chase.
Hey guys, I am a sadly former DYM member.
What? Sadly.
Sadly.
Well, I don't know if we can even read the question at this point.
And I've been really blessed and built up by the web show, your wisdom, and all of the resources you publish. I want you to know I didn't cancel my membership because I didn't love it.
Okay.
Duh. But because I'm an unpaid intern at my church. We have DYMS scholarships.
Yeah. Click scholarships and say, help me.
My internship is an overall positive experience, but sometimes it's hard and discouraging. I think it's harder because our youth pastor doesn't have a lot of support in the church from our elders, and that inevitably flows down to me. I know I can't change how he is treated, but I'm hoping that he can receive encouragement somewhere. What are ways you have felt blessed and encouraged by your interns and volunteers in your years in ministry?
Oh, that's a really great question.
And it seems like Katie's the one to answer it.
Absolutely.
Because if Katie is not blessed by her interns, I don't know who is. Because every time I see them, they're bringing her coffee.
Oh.
They are. You have like a harem.
It's really true. Well, and they're easy for her to get. She's just like, I need interns, and the applications just swamp her. She's covered in paper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have those problems.
How have your interns blessed you besides bringing you
Coffee.
coffee
Yeah.
and doing kind
Yeah,
of some of your
totally.
grunt work,
And
Well-
yard work and other easy stuff like that.
babysitting.
Yeah, totally. Well, we're all raising my kids together. That's what's happening. I think one of the really, I think, blessings of having interns working with us is not only is it an opportunity for us to pour into them and develop them, but it's an opportunity for them to make a contribution. So I love when an intern comes to the table with unique gifts or passions, and I love when they share or see things in our ministry that could be. That's like a huge encouragement. I love when they want to care for me or our volunteers through some of the things we were talking about. That's so cool. But it's really fun and exciting, I think, when you come to the table ready to be a player and ready to have a voice and contribute, and you aren't just manpower. You could be a really valuable, viable part of the team.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really encouraging for me when I see an intern who's takes initiative, who's excited, who has ideas, who can use their skills. And then it's exciting to kind of see what could be beyond our ministry too for them.
Yeah.
So I think that's an encouraging, it's something that you can do for your youth pastor, for the ministry, is to be a part of the mix, in more than just making copies type of a way. And hopefully your youth pastor will let you play that role. I realize there's also, there's value in making copies, and those things need to get done too. So that could be part of your role, which is cool. But I don't know.
I'm still grateful that Josh makes copies for me and brings me coffee.
Whatever you need.
Totally.
Whatever you need. You need a refill on that
Have you ever
drink?
brought me coffee ever?
Never. Never once.
No, I don't drink coffee.
But you know why? I know you so well. You don't even like coffee. There you go.
Can I add one more thing?
You
John?
can
Oh, wow.
you can
Yeah.
have the whole show,
Yeah,
really.
it is about
Josh and I would like to just sit around.
I
and
think
Yeah, Jason didn't even show up today. He's like,
Yeah.
you just take it, Kate.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if actually some of your interns could come and just, my feet are so
Yeah.
sore.
Yeah.
I could actually use some more coffee.
Totally. They would love to bring you coffee.
Excellent.
I think as a leader, it is really encouraging too when people ask good questions, or even ask about your vision or what's happening. There aren't very many people who are asking the leader how they're doing, what's happening, what are you excited about. And so when an intern takes the initiative to kind of know me on a deeper level and kind of know what I'm thinking of big picture, or where we're taking things, or how I'm doing, there's so many leaders in the church who nobody ever asks them just, how are you? What are you thinking about? What's going on? And so that is a huge way to, I think, encourage your leader
It's
too.
good.
So.
It's big. I think asking questions is, I'm just coming from a lunch meeting where I was, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I can't wait to tell Kathy, I'm not going to say this person's name, but it feels like every time I'm with this person, they never ask me one question.
And you have to drive the conversation
And happy to.
Of course.
I mean, happy to, because I want to get to know, but I ask every question.
Wow.
And I think that is, that's really wise.
Well, it's a missed opportunity as well. I mean, that intern in this case, or that person at lunch, has an opportunity to really get a good dialogue going about their agenda, which
Yeah.
is fun. That's awesome, but it's also very honoring to the person.
Well, to ask a question about you, if you ever relate, if a stranger comes up to me and says, "How is your heart?" That.
Yeah, it would
No
be
way.
weird.
Yeah,
It would
it's
be
just great. I'm glad you were in my seminar. Actually, I had a guy yesterday come up to me, and I was speaking on developing leaders, and when I was done, he's a young guy, he's sweet guy, but he goes, I'm just new, and I was wondering if you had any advice on developing leaders. Were you just not here for the 45 minutes that we were?
I just dumped everything I know,
Pretty
right?
much just gave you everything. I mean, I could hand you my PowerPoint, but I won't. But other than that.
Yeah.
So,
That is really funny.
should we ignore?
Dun dun dun!
Should we ignore Jason?
You can't ignore
Yeah.
Jason.
Oh my
He
gosh!
makes an appearance. We
Hello,
replaced-
friends.
Hey!
We replaced you with new gear.
Only one half
You have
hour
to sit
late.
behind the box. So.
Yeah.
So you guys, I was thinking.
I know, it's really working.
So-
Here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Now
I
we're
figure
in,
since
we're in
I'm
the middle of a question, so you gotta wait for a
I'll
second.
throw this out,
So
too.
how do you bless? How do you bless those above you? You show up on time to meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You respect people. There's a lot of ways to encourage those above.
Yeah, it's just
You
a
said
random
initiative,
example.
didn't you,
Yeah.
Katie?
Initiative.
Initiative.
I think
Good
that's
communication,
huge.
especially if you're going to be late. That's
Yeah.
a good way. Just say, hey, just a quick heads
Yeah,
up.
like we're the 21st century. People text.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
say good job. I
message.
don't know, like there's times where, you can say to your leader, hey, that was cool. That was a great
Yeah,
thing, or
that's
thanks
good.
for leading me in this way. Like
Yeah.
You didn't want to pile on Jason like Mr.
Yeah,
Passive
we were
Aggressive and I
totally
were doing.
killing him right there. You
I
know?
don't do that.
Thank you, Katie.
There's a leadership
Thank
principle
you for
right
showing
there.
Christian's
So that's your
character.
young-
That's
young guy.
why.
It's very Christ-like, Katie.
That's why her interns like her.
That's true.
That's right.
I'll throw out one other thing too. Just try to know your boss or youth pastor, whatever, their love language, because certain expressions of gift and love and whatever could be lost on them. Like if someone sent me a card, I would be like, "That's a very nice thing," and it would go into just
You would throw it
words
away.
in that way. And I put it in my card box. It's nice. I have
Okay.
a little thing that contains some very nice words. I need that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But other gestures would be much more significant to me. A foot massage, a coffee, those would be, just kidding. Those would be really
A
great.
free T-shirt.
A free t-shirt.
That
I'd
is
wear
your
it.
love
I'd wear it
language.
like that. This one's free.
Yeah.
LetGodWork.com. Thank you. I think I told him I'd mention it, so thank you.
Yeah, about 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old one.
When it used to have cotton.
Yeah, this runs low. You can almost still see the logo.
Almost.
Yeah, but I think knowing your leader well enough to do that. I also have appreciated in the past. I saw a good example of it for Katie the other day. One of her volunteers sent an email around her, like to the senior pastor, and she didn't even know it until it eventually trickled down. I thought that was really cool that someone
was like
would
the
honor
best
you.
email I've ever read in my
And
life.
the words, those words were thought over,
Yeah.
written so well. That was a blessing to that
That's
youth, to
neat.
you as a youth worker.
Yeah, it was so
You
wonderful.
didn't even know it was happening.
Mm-mm.
And that matters a ton too. So I think if you can go around and cheer that person on, especially in the question, there's some tension in that relationship, it sounds
Mhm.
like.
Yeah.
That'd be a great gift.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, should we turn to Jason Carson, the fourth person of the Trinity of this podcast, who's 30 minutes late? We waited 22 for you,
Yeah,
but then couldn't wait
We
anymore.
couldn't wait anymore.
Hey, can I give an explanation?
Oh, here it comes.
I figured since I'm a senior pastor, you guys can wait on me. Right?
Were you leading
Even
someone
though
to
even though I
Jesus?
ask other people to be respectful of my time, now that I'm
Sure.
a senior pastor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've earned the right to do whatever I want with no accountability.
Yeah.
That's great.
Talk about passive
So,
aggressive.
I was gonna
huh?
say,
Anyways,
this is perfect.
That's 20 years of being a youth pastor under.
I love it.
No, we had a
Respect,
great meeting. We got a new worship leader
Oh, wow.
for Encounter,
come on.
and he's awesome. It is working out so great, and he's from Diamond Bar, so he drove down.
Oh, wow.
And we had a good creative meeting, and my gosh, I looked at my watch.
Were you like
So I
extra
raced out of it.
intense, like interviewing another musician? Like when you're like thinking about the worship piece, are you because you're a
Yes.
musician yourself? So do you have
Well,
a
that's
little
good that you'd
like
admit that.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I'm very picky
okay,
when it comes to that.
because you in your mind know what you want.
Yes.
and- okay.
And did
More
he-
than any, I've had this conversation many times with people. Like more than any other position possible out there. Like when it comes to the worship guy, it's like okay, you know.
So are you thinking in the back of your mind every time somebody's leading worship, I could do better?
No,
Yeah,
never.
or-
Yeah,
I can't
a
lead.
little
I
bit.
can't
He
lead
would
worship.
not be in the
bit.
Supertones, maybe. So
Yeah. we would have cut you from the band. Not bad. I was like in heaven, but not to the throne room. So you didn't lead me all the way to Jesus. So
No, this guy's great though. So,
Cool! Congratulations.
yeah,
That's exciting.
exciting.
that's great. What?
After a year of looking, got
Oh,
it.
wow.
It's good.
It's
That's
great.
Cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
Can we move on to another
Yeah.
question?
Yes.
This question is from, please do not read my name. This
Oh.
past January, our associate pastor, if you could just, this is where we need music.
Dun dun dun.
I'm not sure that's
That's
music.
good harmony.
That was
Good harmony
beautiful.
right
That was
there.
pretty good.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah.
this past January, our associate pastor accepted a position in another church. No replacement has been hired. A few guys have been interviewed, but no one has clicked. I have been asked by several elders, search committee members, and every old lady in the church to apply for the position. My answer has always been, I love the job I have. Fast forward 9 months, and I have somehow assumed 90% of the associate pastor's duties on top of my full-time youth ministry
Oh.
job. I'm preaching at least once a month in both of our main services, which I enjoy. I've done more funerals in the past 4 months than I did in the past decade. This I do not enjoy. I was told last week that the search committee has decided that the best course of action is to wait until next May to scoop up a fresh seminary grad. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
'Cause-
AKA cheap.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I do not relish the idea of pulling double duty for another 8 months. Our senior pastor turns 64 next month, and has said that he thinks he has about 18 months left. The prospect of an inexperienced associate pastor at the helm during a big transition concerns me, especially after realizing how long the search process is going to take. I love our church. I love student ministry. Right now I feel stretched, and so do my wife and kids. The crazy thing is if I moved into an associate pastor position, I would be given a substantial raise and eventually have less on my plate than I do now. Now that I've typed that, it sounds naive.
I was just going to say, really?
Am I crazy to be considering leaving student ministry? Should I talk to the elders into changing the job description so I can still play a role in student ministry? Should I keep doing my job as well as I can and then support whoever is brought in whenever that eventually happens? Thanks for your wisdom.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some zip on it.
Yeah. Well,
Nice.
it's got some pain surrounding it.
Yeah.
I mean, those are big decisions. For me, I always, when I would take on more responsibility, I would try to leverage that in some way. Because all of us, we're all busy. We have enough on our plate. You can't put more on your plate until you put more on your plate, and then you put more on your plate, and something has to give, something sacrificed.
That's right.
And so, in order for something not to be sacrificed, and for you to not move down the route of being unhealthy, you've got to figure out how to leverage that some way. Either leverage that and even if you leverage it in more finances, that might be good for a season and for your family and gets you to a different level. But you're still going to be running on that hamster wheel. So I would try to leverage it for an increase in salary, and make it very clear that I can hold this position until May, and then I'm done. I would establish. Don't keep going along thinking that something is going to change, because it's not going to change. The more it becomes normal, the more it will be normalized, and the more you're going to have a difficult chance trying to say, well, I've been doing this for the last year. People are going to be like, well, we all take on things that we need. I know of several positions, even close to some of us, where it was a volunteer position until another church offered that person a job. Then all of a sudden the church went, wait, have you only been doing this as a volunteer? We need to hire you.
Right.
The church is only gonna, most of the time they're, people don't initiate raises for you, or slowing your life down, or minimizing your job description. You've got to do that for yourself.
I would also look at the situation and go, is this a choice that I need to make? Do I need to move into associate pastor role, or am I supposed to stay in youth ministry? Obviously there is an opportunity here to become the associate pastor, to exit youth ministry and whatever, or it's a beautiful confirmation of, I am a youth worker, this is where I belong. So I would say just check and see if God's moving or stirring something in your heart. It sounds to me like he's reaffirming your call to youth ministry. And if so, celebrate that, and put your head down and do great youth ministry when that opportunity comes again too. I think anytime there's an opportunity, it's a good chance to just question where you're at in your calling and in your career or whatever. And so I think there's an opportunity for that too.
It sounds like he loves the church, though, because there
Yeah.
isn't any kind of language. It doesn't seem like that is, I'm thinking about leaving maybe so I
Right.
can do youth ministry. He talks about, gosh, do I go for the associate pastor thing? So it sounds like you love the church, that you're committed to it. And so I think deadlines and boundaries are always a good thing,
Yeah.
for leadership. So helping.
And you could,
helping
with
establish
that
that.
deadlines and boundaries, you could take on more responsibility. But what I
Totally.
said earlier is leverage it. Maybe leverage it for an intern.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be
You know,
great.
Yeah.
I'll take on some of these
Or a
responsibilities.
part-time admin, or somebody to help
Yep.
carry some of those
Yep.
things
That's
that,
great.
and helping letting people know how you feel. So
Yeah.
if funerals are stealing your joy, which I guess they're not a joyful thing, and
Totally.
but if who could help kind of take on some of the things, so you're not only doing all the things that you don't love, so helping people understand what you love doing, and then where you need help, and maybe some of the areas that you don't love. So that could be good too. But it sounds
Absolutely.
like you don't want to leave. So.
I love that he or she is like really excited about this church though.
Yeah.
Like they're
Yeah.
in.
I think
That's
that's
great.
cool.
I think that's because this would be an easy chance to bolt. Like they're piling stuff on. And I did not see that name. Their panel stuff, it'd be an easy chance just to bail. So I kind of like that he's going, okay, I'm in, and the church needs me to step up. I'm going to step up. But
Yeah.
I think it's a good moment. I think there's a reflection of some solid character there too.
Can I ask an associate in most churches is an associate pastor like the number 2 guy? Is
Yes.
that kind of
Yeah, it's kind of
that's that title? Okay,
It's pretty
sorry.
much a catch-all for everything.
It really is. Whatever the
Yeah.
senior pastor doesn't want to do or can't do, or
Yeah.
Maybe like a chief of staff type of a guy.
It's like they
too,
run
or
on-
like-
It's like a
Yeah,
different way of
not
saying
really.
executive pastor, maybe sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It's really just they run operations a lot. They run.
Do you have one of
I
those?
was an associate pastor before
Oh,
we
okay.
planted and stuff, and it was you kind of asked to do everything, and
yeah,
and
weddings,
it's a
funerals.
the one thing I heard here, and this hope it doesn't confuse me even more, but one way to look at it is number one, don't let other people tell you your calling, because I heard all those people are influencing this guy to like, oh, you should do this, you should
Yeah.
do this.
Mhm.
Okay, well you still need to know what your lots of people told Jesus what to do too, but he knew his calling and he was going to stick to it. But then the other side is don't ignore the wisdom. If everyone around you is saying, hey, you'd be good for this, and it's right in front of you, maybe at least be open to praying about it. So again, that's obviously both sides of the coin there.
Yeah, that's good.
But I really like his heart for the church. That's good. You gave great wisdom about if things can be a season. Like I remember I helped out one time at my church where I was doing youth ministry full time. I took the college group because it buckled, and I helped lead worship for 4 months at my church, and it was crazy. But I did it because there was a huge need in our church, and I said I can do this for 4 months.
Yeah.
But just like you said, deadlines, timelines, and then that's it. You got to be clear with your people.
Yeah.
But that sounds like he's more than a deadline. He's not filling in for a couple months. They want him to move into the position, right?
Maybe long term.
Yeah,
that's
so
the
you gotta
plan.
be careful.
Well, and there's a lot cooking with a senior
Yeah.
pastor about to retire and the
Yeah, there's a lot of
fresh out of
potential
seminary
change.
grad come in and
Oh yeah.
the whole bit.
Fresh out of seminary grad.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which, who doesn't love that? Fresh out of seminary grad to
Associate pastor.
yeah.
There's a lot.
He knows
This is
everything
from
at this point.
Jared Gwynn. I'm a youth minister and I'm about to use your Habits Discipleship Program.
All right.
Can you do
Okay.
more than one of the journals at a time? And why do you suggest not doing the Rootworks and Quiet Time journals at the same time? Thanks. I've really enjoyed PDYM as a new youth minister. I started 3 months ago.
All right.
Hey,
Awesome.
cool.
Purpose of youth ministry question, referring to habits, which is like a discipleship, growing your own acronym. If you're not familiar with that.
Strategy.
Yeah.
What does this stand for?
Strategy.
Hang time with God, accountability with another believer, Bible memorization, involvement in church, tithing, studying scripture.
Hey!
I know PDY.
Impressive.
Yeah. Well, and Hang Time with God is a quiet time journal, and Studying Scriptures is root work. So for those that wouldn't be familiar with this, and so what we suggest is that kind of the idea in discipleship is don't just teach a kid how to fish, and because the saying "teach them how to fish and they'll fish for life" is with the idea of growing on your own is you teach them to fish, but you give them the toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's
because
great.
we can teach them how to fish every week, but if we don't give them a journal or a Bible or how to study Scripture and give them some of those things so they can do it on their own. So, kind of the idea, what we said is start with one, because a lot of times when you lay it all out there, kids are taking everything. It's like sample at Costco or Sam's.
Sam's Club, totally.
I'm
Free
just
stuff.
I'm going to take
Free
everything.
stuff.
Free?
But if you start with one,
Yeah.
it's just you can do whatever you want, Jared. But I think in PDYM we suggest that you start with one and encourage that person along the way in their journal, at least for a few weeks, and then
Absolutely.
give them the study scripture one.
I taught that series in my old youth group.
Did you?
It was amazing.
Well, I would
Loved
argue that it's biblical too, because you are moving people from milk to meat, so it is natural to give them a progression of
Yeah,
different,
absolutely.
rather than just like here's everything and you're
It sounds like a book.
milk to meat.
From
I'm
milk
not
to
sure.
meat.
Yeah.
I didn't say it
Trademark
sounded good,
download
but-
ministry just in
yeah.
case. First use in copyright court right
City
here.
of Updated Habits resource.
Shrewd businessman from milk2meat.com.
You'll sell them the rights if someone wants to do it.
Oh, someone wants to
yeah,
buy that?
yeah.
Absolutely.
$10 grand, no
Someone
problem.
just bought it right now.
Someone did check to see if we bought it before this aired. Just
Totally.
glad we're not periscoping.
And
today,
we
guys.
did.
And we
You did.
did.
It's purchased.
I'm gonna write it down right now.
From milk to meat. This is terrible. It's hers.
We can actually
What
buy.
book you reading?
we can-
From milk to meat.
We can buy both domains.
Everybody remembers that.
Yeah,
It is true.
We'll buy,
memorable title.
we'll buy From Milk to Meat, MEAT, and From Milk to Meat, MEET.
I love it.
Yes.
I love
So
it.
it could be on one, could be on greeting and hospitality.
Guys, we might have just launched a whole new franchise.
Milk could be a new acronym of some. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's not.
Hang time with God. I kind of wait. That's
Okay, in our
My
pursuit
goodness.
of shorter shows,
All right.
and with Jason being late,
yeah, Jason basically
Hey,
this
senior
show.
pastor.
we've got 5 minutes left to answer this question. And by the way, good question. Send them to
Yeah.
webshow@downloadyouthministry.com. That's webshow@downloadyouthministry.com.
And in the near
Web
future,
show.
we have some great voicemails that we've been collecting.
I know. I'm
and
excited.
That's
for
gonna be
that.
exciting.
As soon as all this gear that we've shown
We're
you or
so
you've
sad.
heard
We've
about,
had this
We're so
gear for
close.
like 2
I
weeks
know,
now.
it's sitting
It's
here.
purchased.
Yeah.
That's
It's
half
in
the
house.
battle.
It's right.
And the
Yeah.
guy who purchased, when we purchased it, but the guy who's going to set it all up for us got a job.
Yeah, I know.
And so
That's the bummer.
he really doesn't have time to help us.
It's a bummer. It's a
Shoot.
cool
Yeah.
job.
We
but
need some
hurts
interns,
us.
Katie.
We do.
And he got engaged.
I'm on it. I'm on
That's
it.
exciting.
Dude,
No,
you know
that's a
what?
different guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what? If we had interns, they would love you. And
That could
love
be my
us.
place at DYM. That could be. That's my sweet
Intern
spot.
coordinator. Done.
We got sweet offices at DYM.
Good news. It's also it's an unpaid intern coordinator position for unpaid interns.
Right.
Interesting.
So whatever. It's
Brought
like
to you by Orange.
Thank you.
Our
Orange is now
primary sponsor.
Orange, sponsor of our new website, From Milk to Meat.
Youthministry360.com.
Yeah.
75% off. Use the password ripoff.
Milk to Meat
Milk
should be the
to
coupon
Meat.
code.
All
With a
right.
2 in the middle.
Another domain. That's our third and fourth.
Milk to
They're
meat.
$8 a
Send
pop.
in your
Just, it's like a buffet right now.
Uh-huh.
We're
Milk
on-
TOO.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. That could be the new game on Milk to Meat. How many domains can you have?
Yeah. There's so many good ones.
I'm kind of glad we don't have our microphones right now because
Yeah.
Josh just hocked up a lung, I think.
It's so funny. Milk to Meat. I
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
Oh
All right.
my goodness.
Please don't read my name. Just kidding, you can, but I had to put that in there because I'm a slow rewinder.
Take your
And
time.
don't listen to the folks who say you use too much insider language. I love the insider jokes, and it's more incentive for me to watch old episodes
Oh.
so I can see where they came from. For
Okay.
those of you who are new, that's what a rewinder does. They rewind all the way to the back. I can't wait to figure out why Matt got canned and actually see an episode with Matt in it.
Oh wow.
So that person is starting new and
Yeah.
then going back.
Gotcha.
All right.
I like it. All right, welcome to the show.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're in for a treat.
Yeah, and this
Good
person's
things
name
ahead.
is Rachel.
Spoiler alert.
So much. Spoiler alert. So much better than Jason.
It's true. And he shows up on time, didn't
And every
he? Was
week.
he on time every time?
He was.
Yeah.
He was ruthless.
He's just-
And he also had the camera in his car. So.
Okay, here's the question. How do I uncommit
Okay.
Ooh.
once you realize you've overcommitted?
Oh no.
I'm a youth pastor and absolutely love my job, my church, the people I work with, but right now it's 10 p.m. and I'm still at work. This is not unusual for me. I find myself committed to leading the student ministry, volunteering to be a part of the denominational state ministry team, volunteering to be a part of the mission startup at a friend's of mine, and this summer, for financial reasons, when my husband lost his job, I stepped into also leading our children's ministry. I really have no passion for missions or children's work, and I need to get out of them, but I'm looking for a graceful way to do that. Well, a heart attack, a divorce,
Those are, I mean, they send
Moral
signs.
failure.
Yeah.
Any of those
Yeah,
are good,
those
great
will-
exits.
those will all send signs that
Yeah.
you should not be doing all that you're doing.
I quote the great Nancy Reagan: "Just say no."
And
Right?
No, I like that.
You gotta. Yeah, it's too full of a plate.
Didn't
That's-
that have to do with drugs, though?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like there's
The drug of overcommitment.
There you
Good
go.
overcommitment.
Whoa.
addicted overcommitment. Hey,
What a nice
addiction.
That could be
transition.
my next book too.
That'll be
The
that'll be
drug of
Certain
overcommitment.
habits.
The sequel to Meet
Say
to
no,
Me.
people.
Or Milk to Me.
What's
Uh,
You're
No,
breaking
no.
down.
Listen, it sounds like this is a lady. Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like she has such great intentions and a heart to serve people and to help people and see needs and fill them. You gotta always remember, you gotta keep this in front of you. You're not Jesus. You aren't the Savior. You don't have to be the world's answers to all problems. You do what you can do without risking the expense of your family or your sanity or your sleep or your health. I mean, you just do, and you be still and know that He's God. And
Well,
trust them with
and
that stuff.
sometimes, Jason, people, and I'm not saying this is Rachel's case, but sometimes people don't want to be still because it exposes too much of the pain that they have. And so in order to make up for being still, I'm going to make up for being, I'm going to be busy. The more busier I can be, I'm going
Noise, activity,
Yep,
action,
yeah,
all
I get it.
I can't stop. I can't say no. I would read a bestseller called "What Matters Most."
Who wrote that?
Let's
see.
It's on.
Rug.
It's on
Reels.
From Milk to Meat.
You just go to the online
.org,
store
net,
from milk to meat
and
dot-
TV.
from milk2meat.tv would be
That,
unbelievable.
hey, great book. I read that book. What Matters Most: Teaching the Art of Saying No, so that you can say yes.
When no is better than yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's small, but
It's
it's really
essential.
practical,
So you can say
and
yes
it's
to
one
the
of those
important
things when I talk to people. I can tell they've read it when they say, like, you can just see it in their face, like it was just this meaningful little paradigm switch for them. And it's, so much of my own testimony in there, but it is how do you uncommit once you've overcommitted.
Well, I think she started to identify some of it already. I'm not called to missions. I'm not called to children's ministry.
Yeah,
So that's
you're right.
part of it.
Good.
She's already identifying some places to cut, and that's exactly what I would say. What do you love? What are you passionate about? What are you obligated to do? What can you set an end date for? Like those would be some quick, easy steps.
Yeah.
I would say.
Who can you invite into your life who can be brutal to you? You need to say this to somebody in your life who will love you enough to hold you accountable to it.
And really just examining your own heart too and passions and stuff. So I think the times where I'm overcommitted, sometimes I've let pride sneak into that and thinking that, well, I can do it, they need me to do it, it has to be me, or some of those things. And so I take on more or commit to more because I think it's got to be me. And I think sometimes those pride issues just sneak up on us, and can mess with us a little bit. So really just having a day, even maybe where you spend some time with the Lord, you pause, you take a deep breath, you begin to examine your own heart, and then invite some people in.
One of the things that we did when we cut programs was we put all of our programs on a whiteboard, and it was crazy when you could see everything you're committed to, in our case as a ministry. It was like, we don't need to do that. Why? This one is redundant. And it was when we put it up there, the answer was kind of obvious. So maybe that would be part of the exercise too, is just put everything up there that you're doing and see if there's some easy X's and start there.
Yeah, maybe the people that are doing the friend who's doing the missions thing, the children, it could be refreshing for you to just be honest and say, they would probably most likely like to have someone who's passionate about their missions thing. So you saying you're not is good for both of you, not just you.
It's good. When I was reading it, I was thinking, oh, this person's single. Oh, my husband lost his job.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how you have that. That's just a lot of weight to carry in a marriage as well. So anyway, what matters most? That's good place to start. To read, but you need to talk to people. Put those words in flesh with somebody else. You could also go to the Refuel Retreat by one of our
LeaderTrex.
sponsors,
Yes.
LeaderTrex. Go to leadertrex.com.org.
Both. And they actually will give you some hands-on
Refuel Retreat.
They would even
.com.
walk through some of that in person. It's
.com.
not an impersonal retreat, it's small. And Doug, I was actually with him last week at a conference.
Doug Franklin.
Doug Franklin, yeah.
Because you were with me at a conference this week.
I was with,
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm just trying to help
Thank
our
you.
friends who are listening.
Insider, Doug Franklin. He was just talking about it's his favorite thing. He was leaving for one right after this event that we were at, and he just loves the interaction, like the knee to knee, eye to eye. That would be a great moment to go, here's what's going on. What do you think?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, someone from the outside.
Well, this is episode 278, with half of it being with Jason.
Hey,
and
yeah.
It's brought to you by
The
our
better half.
sponsors, Orange, Azusa Pacific
job.
University,
LeaderTrex,
and YM360. Go to generatestudents.com. 9 dates, 6 locations.
Love it.
Hey,
Great
next show we're going to do, Katie and I have already decided, we're doing a theme show.
Yeah, we
Oh, wow.
picked it while you
Thanks.
guys were gone.
Yep. While we were waiting for you, and Josh was in the
Great.
bathroom
I was
for a long
I was
time.
just making
A long time,
looking
huh?
for a new free T-shirt.
JG.
On the phone.
All right.
Yikes.
It's a great show. See you guys next week.
Bye-bye.